Do you need to fire everyone on your team? Did you hire bad people? Did you overhire? That's what we're talking about today. We got Nick Shackelford, partner at Breeze, head of retention. We got Bart, co-founder of Dad Gang, both doing multiple 8 figures in revenue. My name's Sean. I'm the VP of marketing at Royal Bread Company. I've sold a couple companies, not huge sales. You know, I'm still
points on the board.
Work, but
points on the board.
But hey, points on the board. The format here is we take questions from our audience, and today's question is, it's a heavy one. It's a hard one. Do I need to fire people? I have a jewelry brand that's grown about 200% in the past year. As we scale, my team is telling me we need to hire more people, but we've gone from making a small profit to losing money as we've scaled.
Yeah.
Do I just have to lose more to make more?
This is tough. This is tough because I feel like a lot of brands coming out of the COVID era or just coming out of any high growth period is like the people try to solve it with more people. And I think that's just a common from the agency side, from the brand side. Everyone's like, I need more bodies. I can't get enough done.
Yeah, I can't get enough done. There's so many things we want to do and we can't get done. And you hear all this like conventional business wisdom that's like, you're only as good as your people. It's going to be your people that bring your brand to the next level. And I'm like, that it's just such generic advice that is like applicable to a pretty big company, but not so applicable to, I don't know what level this person's at. We've grown 200% in the past year. I'm going to guess they weren't at 100 million growing to 200.
Yeah.
So, you know, if they're at
low
2 million growing
to
to
mid-mills. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're going 2-4, these usually really using percent, maybe they're going 2 to 6 or whatever. But like, you know, that's great. It's good growth. But if you've done that and you're not profitable, you might have overhired. You might just be overspending on ads too. You might have over invested in your growth or whatever. But I don't know. What do you, I guess maybe more generically, we don't have enough info to answer this question for this person, I don't think. But more generically, when is it like, I've overhired, I have to fire? What are your signals for that?
I think this has to be, it depends on the department, I think, first. Like if we know we need bodies in a retail standpoint, so we can like justify that. But in a marketing standpoint or a growth area, I'm probably going tool first. Like I'm probably going like, is there a tool that can do this before I hire anybody? And a lot enough people weren't going contractor basis. Like, hey, we're going to come in for this project and we want you to be incredible, but we're going to date before we're going to get fully married and you're going to get a full-time role. I think that first off, you need to prevent the immediate, oh my gosh, I overhired. Yeah. Just to give yourself a little bit of coverage to start with.
Yeah. No, I'm very hesitant to hire. You kind of are too, and there's some businesses you've just had to go for it in. I think it makes you uncomfortable.
Very.
But you've lived in the discomfort maybe a little more than I have. Bart, dude, have you hired anybody?
No, but we do the tool approach too. It's like customer service, what kind of platform can help there, outsourcing certain things, but like we just haven't. So I can't like speak too much on it, but we just haven't hired a Dad Gang.
I'm sure you've seen it though. When you've been working with other brands, like when you're like, oh, you are too,
I get calls,
you're too bloated in your OpEx.
Not too long ago, I got a call from like a big brand owner that we all know. And it was kind of like, he wanted my advice on how to spread the jobs of the entire company. So like he overhired. And then it was kind of like,
can we find this person something?
Hey, what are like, I've got this person for organic social media management and I've got this person for media buying and I've got this person for email and I have a creative strategist over here. And I was like, well, I think one of those roles is two. And it's like, what can you condense or what can you teach that current person to also do? Not to like overload people, of course, like compensate a little more if you're going to do that. But at the same time, just calls around like how to lean out. And I think a lot of people do jump into these flashy, like it used to actually be it used to be a flex to be like, yeah, we're at 50 people. And now it's a flex to be at less people and more efficient people and use platforms and tools. So I've taken some calls that are just like, hey, I know I've overhired this person does only this. Like they're capable of a lot more. And then you as the founder could probably do more too.
First question is the one I'm going to pick the one I said back to you first is I think you just said a good one. What are the signals that you have overhired? I think that's a good one when you're saying, oh, this person just does that, like that's their day. Like, what else could they be doing? And if you've got one or multiple of those, you might have bloated up too much.
Totally.
I have a really good one, I think, for e-com brands. and you might have a model for this for agencies, I don't know.
Maybe.
I like less for most brands, definitely under 9 figures. I like 15% or less of the revenue tied up in OpEx, and that's all OpEx. So that is software, any buildings, if you have warehouse where you pick and pack, and so that would be people you've hired, and team. So 15% or less of the revenue in OpEx. That's what I like for ecom brands. Whenever I talk to somebody, and this was just that came over the course of like taking a bunch of calls, however many 1,200 calls that I took for Triple Well last year. It was like, oh, the more times I get into people's financials and they've got 20% of their revenue in overhead and a lot of it's in team, those were almost always the brands that were struggling. The ones that kept it under 15 seemed to just always be the ones that were doing better. And I don't know if that was a mentality thing, like they were lean and that it was a kind of a lean time, or we're in a lean time, or if that was just, what I saw or whatever. But it kind of made me develop this rule of like, I think for an e-commerce brand, you've got so much cost in advertising. You've got so much cost in product. You have to keep so much cash in this business to keep buying product. You really can't carry too much OpEx. It's not like a software company or an agency where you're really carrying a lot of OpEx. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we have a perfect one for agencies, but that framework, it makes total sense. Like anytime we get above 18% or we get closer, there's times when you have to overhire on like a region or an initiative for sure.
And you're like, well, I really hope we grow into that. That's what you're thinking when you're making those hires. Yeah,
totally. I feel like I felt that more recently than anything with the hires that we're having, because we're not really having too many people that are like hands-on keyboards or execution based. Now it's more vision and strategy, which is hard. I think
you're not hiring for a job to be done. You're hiring for somebody to like think.
You know what I mean? Yeah, manage things that the people are doing.
Yeah. So, do you have any other flags for e-commerce businesses where it's like, ooh, if blank, then you might have hired too much. You might have overhired.
So I do. I think at any size, and even if I were to deploy this in
or even agencies, I think, or software, any other kind of business.
How far away is this person from revenue generation or revenue saving? Like if they're like 2 people away from actually generating revenue for you, more important is the person closer to the revenue. Like if you have a creative strategist that isn't really in the accounts or really helping, but the media buyer's like okay at creative strategy, I'm nervous. Like for my job, like I probably need to learn how to be more on platform so I can provide some value. Those are the areas of like, what are the adjacent roles around and how much utilization are these people being tapped into?
I heard an analogy once. I don't know what you said that just made me think of this, but I heard an analogy once. Oh, how far away from revenue are they?
Yeah.
I heard an analogy once, and I'm gonna butcher this, and so maybe I just shouldn't say it, but it's a good one. They said like sales / marketing. Think of your company like a plane. Sales / marketing is the engines. Fulfillment is the body of the plane. And then I can't remember what the wings were, but the wings were something else, right? Maybe finance, or I can't remember, operations, something like that, were the wings. And so they're like, so what happens if you just overhired into the engines? Well, then you'd have this like little tiny plane with a big old engine. And that's fine, I guess. But like that plane has so much more potential, right? So you're kind of overselling, what you can supply. And that plane has so much more potential. All right. So that's probably the best problem to have. If you're going to overhire in revenue generation areas is kind of what you're saying. That's what you said that made me think that. And then they said, okay, but now what happens if you go hire like operations and you stretch out those wings? Well, you need to hire somebody in the engine to do more. And then if you do all that, then you got a little tiny plane with big old wings and a big engine. Again, like you don't have a thing that really flies very smoothly. You got a thing that's got too big of wings and too big of engines. So then you're going to need to add fulfillment as well. And so I think a good framework for keeping yourself from overhiring is like, if I'm hiring this role and they do their job right, then do I need to hire another role to like meet that? Like if I hire another marketing person or another salesperson, whatever it is, and they do their job right and we have more business, do I actually also need to hire another fulfillment person or another ops person or something like that? And if that's the case and you're like, well, I can't make all those hires, then it might be like, hold for a second. Whichever hire you make has to be wherever the constraint is. You know what I mean? So if the constraint is sales, then fine. But like, if the constraint is actually fulfillment, then don't go hire the salesperson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The prioritization is definitely need dependent.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. To this person's point, he's asked, should he fire people? Like I said, I don't know that we have enough
I
information.
feel like you have to though. Like if you're feeling it, is your need to fire somebody, you probably should be firing.
Okay, here's the signal. He asked, we've grown 200%, but now we're not profitable and we used to be profitable. He didn't ask, should we be spending less money? He asked, do I need to fire people because the people I have are saying we need even more people.
Yeah, that's
so.
hard.
What he's asking is, are these people just not competent?
I think that's a great question because if you're no longer growing and more people are here,
Yeah,
and you're actually turning unprofitable, and the people are telling you that you need more people,
yeah,
they don't want to kind of work. They don't want to put it
or
in.
they don't know how.
True.
They don't know. They don't have the competency that
At that
it takes to
stage.
get you to profit. Yeah. So I think potentially because he's also asking, should I just go deeper in this, hire the more people that they say? Like, do I just have to lose money to make money? If you want, man, but you also have a business that's grown 200%. You clearly have some sort of proven something that's working. You could also just make this business profitable, even if it means going backwards. Make this business profitable and then build from there.
There's no glory in growing top line.
Yeah, that's what I would do. It's
for the
too
sake of
stressful to grow at a loss to me, but
Yeah, now for sure.
that's what I would do. Bart already said everything he has to say. He says it the first time, dude.
I love
You
that.
and I talk. Bart's like, I said,
Yeah, just get it out of the way.
I've spoken my piece.
It's why it's so important, dude.
Yeah. All right. Give me another tactic you use to drive revenue through your app for Dad.
Yeah,
Gang.
so pre-built templates, pre-built CTAs, pre-built countdown timers, copy, all that stuff is within Fuego. So
Yeah. Tell me more. What do you mean by pre-built?
so when I have a hat launch, and I've got photos of the hat, and that's it, I can go directly to Fuego, and they have so many pre-built templates of what your home screen and your collection screen and what your notifications could look like with CTAs built in. So you simply like say it's this hat, we get a cool photo of it. I can upload that image to Fuego and then use one of their pre-built CTAs that already has a button that's ready and a countdown timer, and then just a link where those buttons will go to directly within Fuego without having to like know any code. So if I launch something, I make my rounds of email, SMS, social, website, Fuego, and then in Fuego, it's like upload image, click, publish, and it's live, and then go straight into sending a notification. Like the speed of Fuego is like, I don't know if that's like a strategy or a tactic, but the ability to be able to design on the fly like that.
Well, no,
great.
I think I mean, and this is why, again, a reason that like you're super valuable to the pod is that so much of our space is talking about, here's how you could do more things. Here's how you could do more things. Here's how you could do more things. And you really optimize for simplicity. If you could only make one superstar hire, who would it be?
Ooh,
You
agency side or brand side?
Go your way with it. Because I'll just go another way with it if you want.
Okay, I think this is a core channel expert, meaning
Meta.
an incredible meta buyer. Or if you're like TikTok, an incredible TikTok. Like, if you have
incredible TikTok content creator.
if you have any alpha in content creation or deployment of that content from a monetization of ads, go, dude. Pay what you need. Get that. That's a growth lever. That's a major growth lever. It's like if you have a LeBron or you have a Kobe on the team. What do you need around to make that the best?
All you need is role players around those guys.
Go until we have to figure it out. We'll figure it out once we get there.
Bart, what do you think? One superstar hire, who would it be?
I think.
I mean, at some point, Dad Gang will probably hire somebody. I'm guessing.
No, I would go a media buyer route also,
Really?
but like I've got a few buddies that are like unicorns in the space where they're very smart around creative.
Yeah.
Like what does well
creative
and not
strategies.
just button pushers. So finding somebody that is great at, just the ads manager itself, but then somebody that understands good creative. And I found a couple guys that are like a good blend of that. And
Well, Alpha Meta Media Buyer is that now. They're not just a media buyer now. Like we've got a really good one at Royo, and I'm like, oh, he's our creative strategist and our media buyer.
Yeah.
That's why he's so good at it.
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other person is just like creative at scale too. Because we work with one guy who's practically hired because we just use him all the time. But like somebody that can crank out and edit video and just make content
And just can
nonstop.
he's a one-stop shop for it. He can play ISO on that. I used to say this a lot in the agency, like, can that person play ISO on a client?
Yeah.
Or do they need support? Can that person play ISO on cranking out content? That's pretty valuable at a stage where you're trying to stay lean.
Yeah, because we're such a brand that like just makes new creative so often. We're like hold ourselves to like posting every day and new creative for email and the site and the app. But it's like sometimes you do feel this like constraint of like, ah, damn, we like the funnel isn't filled with enough new content. So we go run out and I make it. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, yeah, just knowing that that's always showing up, I think is super important.
I think the next hire would be, did you give yours?
I didn't give mine.
Okay, what's yours?
One superstar is the question. I'm thinking of the biggest alphas I know in each category. I'm going to stick with marketing here because I think, you know, saying, oh, I would hire a superstar like CEO or operator is a little bit cheating here. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, a superstar all rounder, great, yeah. But like, I'm assuming
But that's your gut answer.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
I'm the operator and I have to hire one other superstar.
That's the right decision.
I have such a core competency of marketing that I would want to, if I were the operator, I'd essentially want to operate as a CMO. So I would either hire like a really good like logistics and finance person, or if I was gonna do that part, I would, so that's who I would hire if it were me. That's my answer. If it was a marketing hire and that's the question, then I would say, thinking about the biggest alphas I know in every category, I think I would hire a content creator who's a superstar. Because so there's another podcast we listen to. I listen to it, My First Million. Friend of the pod via a friend of Nick, I will say. Sean tells a story on there all the time about how one of his early interns is a young man named Stephen Bartlett. And I don't know if it was an intern or just a guy who worked for him. And like, think about like a superstar hire. I'm like, that is one.
Yeah, unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before he was Stephen Bartlett. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if I could find someone who I'm like, oh, he's got it. He is an incredible content creator. He's charismatic. And even if there's just even some signal of that on the platforms, I think that's pretty huge. And it would be hard to keep them long term, I think. So you'd really have to incentivize them correctly. You'd probably have to give them points in the company.
Yeah.
But it might be worth it. Might be worth it. Especially if it was a brand where I couldn't be that. Like, I'm probably conceited enough to think I could be that. But if it was like a beauty brand and it had to be a girl or whatever, that it's probably that.
That's a face. That's like a
face of the company.
It's a face.
If I couldn't be the face of the company, I would hire a face of the company and give them points.
Yeah, I think that's
not bad. Not bad. We gave three different answers. I think those are three different workable answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I actually gave two answers. So like you guys only gave two.
On
And I
brand.
gave two all by
pretty,
myself.
Pretty appropriate.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on hiring high-level people versus hiring raw people and training them your way? Specifically, I'm looking to hire content creators and social media managers for my brand.
I got a great answer for this. Something I've been talking and really believing in. How long do you need that thing to work, either profitable or support
Mm-hmm.
an ecosystem? If you have time that you can afford, bring them from zero, train them up. The
Mhm.
loyalty's there.
Make it your way.
Yeah. Build it the way that you want it to be. And you don't have to break any habits that maybe you don't find appealing to how you like to work. And the gratitude is just like through the roof, like teaching somebody something and they actually become really, really good at it.
Mhm.
There's no better feeling.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have time for this and you don't want to invest in that person because of speed at success needing to happen super quickly, you go veteran. You spend the money to overcome the frustration of potentially them not panning out or working out, but now you're sacrificing a lot of cash.
Yeah. I would say just from the perspective of being a person that was hired as a just kind of green person, like I was the first employee at Strideline Socks and I worked there for 6 years. Like,
Crazy.
Just to your point, like if you do bring someone up and they're not owner or founder of the company, but they join you early and like learn the entire process from zero, you really do like come out with a good employee because they're learning everything and they feel responsible for like just the acceleration of what the company does.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I like hiring people that are like early, ambitious, hungry to learn. I think that falls into like, all right, we're going to have somebody that's ride or die for us for a while.
100%.
1, 2, 3 people. But then, yeah, once the company gets to a certain level and you've all never been there before, you're like, well,
You need somebody who has.
yeah, like, oh, we're making this much money. Like, we might need a controller or a CFO or somebody
Yeah.
that's like, CFO is actually a good role. Like you don't want to bring in some rookies to grow
No.
with the company.
Mhm.
You definitely need somebody that's like spent some time doing that away for other people. So I think when you reach a level that like founder and employees have never been there before, that's when you need to
And
like bring in a vet.
even if they've never seen it.
Yeah, we call that who's the adult in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we gotta.
Yeah,
like,
you're all pointing at
you-
each other.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
I thought you were
Spider-Man.
doing this. Like Aaron and I are like the issue with.
You and Aaron and all of the co-founders at your company are like all under 40, right?
Yeah, no,
And like
literally, some of us are in the low 30.
you're sprinting toward 100 million, but ultimately $1 billion where you want to be. It's like at some point you're going to hire some guy who's like 52 and was at Pepsi for 15 years. You know what I mean?
Our head of revenue, Brian
Mhm.
Dewey. This dude's a veteran alcohol guy, a veteran cannabis guy. This dude's a grown ass man,
Mhm.
like dad. Like that is a grown man that's done some shit.
Yeah, his kids are in college.
They're
Like,
about to, right? They're like that.
Yeah.
We have Amy. Amy's a former head of marketing at AG1 and
Yeah.
Sunbasket. Like that's a fucking adult grown ass woman.
Mhm.
And like I'm sitting going like, this is epic. Like
Yeah.
I want these type of people. Then I have roles where that dude's young or she's young and they're executing, and like I'm gonna let them grind a little bit longer because
Yeah.
they need to kind of prove it.
Yeah.
The other thing is like I think some companies can get to a point where they need a big dog, and
Well, sometimes it's a statement. Sometimes it's like, yo, look, like this isn't a joke anymore.
yeah,
Mhm.
And they might not know anything, but the first signal to the market is like they got so and so to join on.
yeah.
You see that at big tech, like how many news
Oh
articles?
yeah, it's like an MBA signing.
Or
Yeah.
even
You know?
like Meta signs so and so
30
with
million a
Apple.
year,
You're like,
yeah.
geez, Louise, why are
Yeah.
they doing that?
Yeah, but I will say if you get to that point, but you're not financially stable enough to pay like a giant salary to that vet, I would just hire like coaches or advisors that have been there.
To
Yep.
lean into a junior. See, this is
Yeah.
the approach that I should have talked about this because I care about that so much. Someone that has the effort and interest, they might lack the knowledge, but you're going to go pay so and so the difference of what a real full time would be to come train my person.
This was
Yeah.
so
That's beautiful.
So one of the Bill Rom, Baseball Lifestyle.
Yep.
101. I was actually asking him this
Friend of the
question.
pod.
Yeah, friend of the pod, Bill Rom,
Great guy.
from Baseball Lifestyle 101. I was asking him this question about specifically content creators because we're doing this at Royo too. So this is a relevant question to me. And he goes, "Oh, you're in a university town?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Interns and mentor pass, or interns and intro, like interns, and then go find the person at True Classic who can give them the SOPs.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
find, Alex Garcia, Oren John, these people who like know social for brands
Go.
and buy consulting with them, buy coaching with them and have them coach your interns up and say, hey, intern or low level person, look, your job is to post once a day, but here's all these resources for you to learn to do it
Mhm.
better and better and better and better. For the next 90 days, all you got to do is post once a day and you got to learn. After that, I'm going to start holding you accountable to like some stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like that approach. I have a framework that I use for like, do I hire somebody who's like veteran? Cause it's not veteran or rookie. You know what I mean? It's what scale of veteran to rookie are they? So if you imagine a triangle, I think of it like this. It's like one part of the triangle is how emergent is it? Like how quickly do I need to solve this problem, which is what you were saying. The second part of the triangle is like, is it the biggest problem in my company? Is my company constrained by this problem? Which is kind of how emergent is it? But is it that it's the biggest opportunity or it's the biggest problem? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Opportunity means like everything's going well now, but I'm just.
But if we did this one thing, could it
yeah.
get
So
that much
is,
better?
is it the biggest opportunity for my? So how emergent is it? Is if it's a problem? Is it the biggest opportunity? Is the other part? And then the other part is how realistic is it for me to hire an A player at this time?
Mm.
So
Cash, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, cash. How hard is it to find? So if for us, where it's like we're trying to hire some people, some social media managers, content creators, how realistic is it for us to hire Andrew Huberman? Probably not super realistic,
Mhm.
But is he an A player? Well, absolutely, right? Like, so then it's just where on that triangle are you? So if you scored all those 1 to 10, where are you in the triangle? And like that's kind of where you should hire at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you should spend for it.
Yeah, I like that. I like the extra ad that you put was how much of an outlier of incredibleness if someone were to crack this,
Mm-hmm.
and that like justifies the speed at which I want to pay them.
Yeah.
and the amount.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
nice.
So if it's like a big problem, it's emergent, then that's like, we're going to pay up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's like the biggest opportunity, we're going to pay up for it, but we can do it. We can build it ourselves.
Yes.
But also, if it's the biggest opportunity, you might not want to hire a superstar. You might want to be like, I do want to build the core competency within the business.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So like with content creation, I'm kind of thinking about it like that. Like, yeah, we could hire a superstar, but honestly, maybe we want the core competency to live in the business, not to live in an individual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because then it's key man risk. And like we believe this
then
on
we can
finance.
hire whoever and teach them the skill.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
which I love. Yeah. Are you making sure that you're getting every bit of profit out of every purchase on your site? A big thing I've been thinking about lately as the cost to advertise goes up is how do I maximize the value of a customer? And so there's really two things. I want to maximize their average order value when they are making a purchase on my site. I also want to maximize the repeat purchase rate and the speed of the repeat purchase rates. So a big thing people don't think about is how quickly their customers are repeat purchasing. They're thinking about how many of them are repeat purchasing, but not how quickly. Recently, I've been using Redo's post-purchase order tracking tool to make cross-sells on my order tracking page. So that means when I send the order tracking link to my customers, I'm making cross-sells on that page and they're getting product recommendations on that page. Now, this is pretty big because that order tracking email, that is one of your most clicked emails. So that is prime real estate. You got to be using that real estate to make cross-sells and make offers. Most people think of Redo as a return software, but they're actually sort of this all-around post-purchase platform. They're there to help you maximize profit from your past customers, period. The post-purchase experience is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So I actually made a checklist. It's a 10-point checklist of the 10 things I do to maximize value from a customer after the purchase. You can grab that in the link below this video. If you're on YouTube, you can click below to grab that. Or if you're on an audio platform, you can of course grab it in the show notes. Just tap down there and you can get my 10-point checklist for maximizing post-purchase profit. That is an excellent alliteration. Let's get back to the show. What are your thoughts on spending every possible dollar on growth versus taking profit? We're going to hit 30 million this year, but we're running at around break even. Should I hire slower, slow down on spend and growth, or should I just stick with it until I get to 100 million?
Oh, what a great question.
Bart's
That last part kind of threw me for a loop.
I mean, 30 to 100 is aggressive.
No,
Yeah.
he goes, so I think that's what this guy's asking. It's like, if it takes 2 or 3 more years to get to 100, should I just take at 30 million? I gotta imagine if he's a founder, he's taking at least a salary.
Yeah, but he's probably like under 100 G's.
He's probably not taking a
75,000.
big salary. He's kind of living a little hand to mouth to speed run this thing.
Yeah.
I just thought your reaction to Nick saying what a great question was like, because I think
I
Bart
get
was
it though. I know where he's coming
Bart's
from.
like, what an awful question.
Well,
Like,
okay,
take the money.
okay. So let's play this out. The fact that you're answering this, the fact that he's asking this question is he's not sure if he wants to go. Like I don't think he really knows what 100 million is going to be in any short period of time.
Say a different number then.
He's at
Well,
30.
actually,
So
what's your point? Go
so
ahead.
He's at 30.
He's at 30,
He's at
50.
30.
If he's going to 50, like I'm not trying to double the fucking company
Yeah.
in X time. And knowing this is like,
what we said earlier, 30. Well, we said this on another episode. 30 is one of those sticking points where you might get stuck there for a bit.
yeah, that's why I don't think it's as fast as you think. Because like we're, and I'm applying this directly to ourselves. We should have done 75 this year.
Mm-hmm. But you had to slow down.
That is wild.
Yeah,
We
that's crazy
what?
growth.
That's 3 years.
Yeah.
Do you know how ridiculous this has been? It's been so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have waited to hit 75 in a couple of years if I could have spread out the stress. So what is needed to be done to this, like you got to ask yourself, are you really trying to hit that 100? Are you really trying to do that anytime soon?
Yeah.
That's a deeper question. So if you're asking yourself at 30, oh boy, you got time to
The
go.
way he's
It's
worded
like
it.
that meme
The way he's
clip, you're
worded
like, you're not that guy. Like, are you that
yeah,
guy?
are you that guy? Because you might be that guy.
the
and
way
then-
he's
then
worded
go.
this, I think he is.
If he is that guy, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. I can
First
tell
off-
you
I know
that
you're
right
not.
now.
And that's why your response to this was like, obviously just take profit and slow down. That's fine.
Okay, but even play this out with me again.
I'm guessing. I'm not letting you
it
talk.
depends on. Go ahead.
Play me on. Okay, how hard is it to operate from a place of needing financial coverage or not needing financial coverage and just executing? If you are stressed about money at all times, bro, you cannot do your best work.
No, and you force things into the company.
You do. You take deals at rush. You're not thinking through clearly.
You're a kind of like
Erratic.
Yeah, you're running around in survival mode, which I don't know, you make erratic decisions and all this stuff.
which is
So,
self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's.
I think you got to, if you're like questioning if you should take some cash out, you probably should do a little bit of a distro and then calm down and then reassess how fast you want to go.
or give yourself a salary raise that'll make you comfortable.
Yeah, because that's the issue. It's like there's not a lot of money that's going to come out of this
At
thing.
30 million, like let's say you're paying yourself 80, even giving yourself a salary raise to 150, if that's going to make you comfortable,
Does nothing to the Bucks.
it does nothing to the, but like you can keep speed running it then.
Well, also think about, so you have health and wellness, you have food and beverage, you have a couple things that like the business can actually legally write off in a impact the life way.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to like write some things off that's a part of the business
Personal.
to where you don't need to be doing all the things
Mhm.
you're doing.
Yeah. And I don't know where they live or whatever, but it's just like, if he's asking the question of should I take cash, I think you're right. He probably feels some personal financial stress. He's probably taking a low salary raise. I mean, a meaningful salary raise from a $30 million business you'll barely feel it on the bottom line of the business.
Oh no.
Because
yeah.
it's like, okay, again, let's say you're taking 80 and you bump it to, let's say you're taking 80 and you bump it to 200. What have you just done to your ad spend? You've taken $10,000 a month off of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you went from 80 to 200.
And you think with that peace of mind, you can't find an alpha of 10 Gs?
Yeah.
Do we think this is like low overhead company too?
Sounds that way.
Yeah.
I think it's just average overhead is what I would guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just whatever it is he's saying, should I slow down? He did say, should I hire slower? So he's definitely done some hiring at this point.
Okay.
Should I slow down on spend at 30 million? Maybe that is the other. It's like definitely keep it lean
Yeah.
on
Isn't
OpEx.
just chasing top line kind of scary these days?
Super scary.
Well, he's breaking.
He said,
He's
"Should I
not going
pour-"
negative.
He said, should I pour every dollar into ad spend?
Yeah, he's saying, should I reinvest every dollar?
Which our friend Mark would say, the person who spends the most wins.
Send it.
Kind of a wild.
Well, that's
statement.
I would say it's kind of what
For
Breeze
some.
is doing. You guys are speed running growth, but you guys are very experienced operators who understand the risk you're taking.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? We made only one poor calculation. We should have done it sooner.
Yeah,
Should have just done one more thing sooner.
right. But then
we were
you also
comfortable with where
understand
we
the
were running.
razor you guys are living on is like, if we mess something up, it is going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to be painful.
And we're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Totally. So I think the risk was, now if this is the worst it's going to be, okay, I'm glad I took that risk.
Yeah.
But I don't think are you that guy? Like, are you built that way? Do you got that dog in you, dude? Like, if you don't got that dog in you, then don't do this.
That helped me clarify my thought on this. If he's asking this question, I'm guessing he's not like a multi-time operator who's speed running this to 30 million at break even. I don't think ever recommend somebody who's not a multiple time operator run something at break even.
No.
It's
No.
like you can screw it up too badly, over project something. Like there's just so many mistakes you can make that like really put you in a tough spot. And I think a multi-time operator has lived through that pain and understands. And so if this person's at 30 million, they're supporting some people, like some people rely on them at this point, you know, they have a team. You should put more padding into the business so that even if you're not taking profit, even if you're leaving that cash in the business, you just have some padding for mistakes because you're going to make them.
Yeah.
If he's a multi-time
Inevitable.
operator asking this question, then I don't think he is, because he's asking, should I take cash out?
Yeah.
And a multi-time operator doesn't ask that.
The first time you have the ability to take any large, you get a couple windfalls in your life and you're like, wow, that like is meaningful and different. I can actually do something with this. And like after you have a couple
you
of those,
realize how you move differently.
Yeah. The moment that happens, the first time it hits, you're like, cool, I'm going to do all these things real quick. And then like, you don't need this urge of money for very long periods of time.
To solve that issue also of like, are you going to be running the company stressed out about your personal finances, which is an unhealthy energy to bring into operating a company. So can you take, I'm not saying like take a bunch of cash, but can you take a windfall, like a little
And
Band-Aid,
just set it over here
to solve that tension or solve those nerves you bring to the company every day, and then just jump back in, like instead of taking a big lump sum, like, you know, just secure yourself a little bit.
That's like slow down growth a little bit for the sake of like making the owner operator person a little bit more healthy, and then go. Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what so, okay. I like one of two options here. Raise your salary to a point where you're comfortable is option one, but there's a reason I don't like that. And that is because lifestyle increases with salary increases. So right now you might be living low overheads on a low salary. And I want you to keep living low overheads if you really want to speed run this company, right? So I want you to keep living low overheads, but you are stressed about money. So option 2, if you're a person who's overhead is take one big windfall, set it aside so that you're not one car breaking down away from disaster in your personal life. And, you know, I don't know, take a 3 months where you slow down growth, take $1 million, $2 million out of the business, put it somewhere where it earns 4% so that, you can still live on the 80K, but you also have a little like egg sitting over
nice.
here.
The little bit of pushback on like the lifestyle increases. Don't do that. Make more money and
but
live below your
easier said
means.
than done. Easier said.
But
look, if you're a
think,
person who can keep yourself in control, then yes,
I think
you're
this
right.
is like deeper outside of the conversation, but like we have to like break that a little bit because I feel like a lot of people do get rich and then a windfall and then increase expenses because they have it.
Yep.
Whereas like, you should just take more money and not
chill.
Don't go get like a new car or a new expense and all these things. Like, I don't know, kind of cheat code it and make more money, but
don't
pull back.
Yeah.
So knowing what I know about myself now, and this isn't even just myself, this is that I have a family who spends our money as well. It's not just me who spends our money.
Of course. Yeah.
I would say that like I would rather take the big sum of cash that we could set aside.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe a small salary increase to like maybe loosen the belt a little bit or like make us a little more comfortable, but a small enough salary increase where it's like, okay, we're not stressed about the bills, but we can't really increase the lifestyle too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
Again,
that's a good like discipline measure on that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to speed run the company, or you could just say, I don't want to speed run the company and I'm going to take a nice salary and I'm going to take some cash and we're going to live a more fun life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
You got the 30 million. That's like you said, you're poor until you're rich in ecom. That's about where it happens, where you can start taking pretty meaningful money and being like, oh yeah, this doesn't really affect the business too bad.
Completely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next up, how many chances do you give to a problem employee?
3 strikes, you're out.
Simple, huh?
Yeah. Because
does it depend on the magnitude of the strike?
No, because it's still the thing. Yeah. The closer you are,
okay. If you embezzle some money from the company, that's maybe a 1 strike system.
I think this is this is not a black and white situation. I think because what happens when a mistake happens, it's not just the mistake itself; it's how the team sees you react to the mistake, and the swiftness and the severeness is based upon the actual impact and trajectory of the company. And the larger the trajectory shift or problem to it is the severity and swiftness of the actual reply to it.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying I need, just like to be simple on that, Satan, if it is impacting us and puts anybody at risk and other people at risk financially, probably going to be addressed immediately. And the intensity or the intentionality behind it is going to dictate how many chances they're going to get.
Yeah.
Because if it's a conniving move, laundering, that is a 0.
That's a 1 strike system.
But if there's like, oh, dude, that's a 0 that you almost missed. Well, we're not dead, but like, dude, you see what you did?
Yeah. How do we put a system in place so this same mistake doesn't happen again?
Yeah. I mean, but dude, definitely a write-up. You got to like.
Yeah. Here's how I see it with, you said mistakes. This person said, how many chances do you give a problem employee?
Yeah, that sounds cancerous.
Which I read as something different. But I want to talk about the mistakes thing. I give somebody infinite mistakes. If they're mistakes and if they're like, let's put, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, especially, okay, if it's somebody who I just trust to like do a task and they keep screwing up that task, then no, right? Like if I was running a restaurant and my dishwasher didn't know how to wash dishes or my like line cook kept undercooking something, then no, I'm not giving them infinite chances. But if it's like a lieutenant who I'm like, you know, they write all my emails, you know, look, if you're making typos, it's because you're writing 50 emails a month or whatever. It's, you know, like I'm going to give them infinite mistakes as long as they take ownership of them. They try and put systems in place to not make the same mistakes over and over. But like, I want my team to feel that they can take risks and make mistakes. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I'll respond to mistakes, as long as they're real mistakes and they're like good spirited. So it's more of like a spirit read of like, are you just dumb? Like you're not capable of doing this?
Yeah.
Or are you like doing this on purpose, or do you just not care? Or are you working hard and the result of hard work and taking risks is that there are mistakes that happen? That's fine. I'm fine with moving fast and breaking things. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I look at it. But a problem employee sounds like something different to me.
Yeah, you already kind of in that question, you kind of labeled them as a problem to the culture of the company already.
I think if you've given them that label,
If you're a
no more
problem
chances.
employee and making mistakes, I think they got to go.
Yeah, gotta go.
Well, I think
And their problem.
if in your
Yeah.
brain they're already a problem employee, either you need to fix your brain or you can't give them any more chances.
Yeah.
If you've given them the label of a problem.
Yeah. On the flip side, I like your mentality of like, you're not giving this like make mistakes and try things mentality to a problem employee. That person,
yeah, no.
that person's already bad.
I'm
Yes,
telling them,
yes.
here's exactly what I need you to do all
Yeah.
the time. Do you use PIPs? Do you use performance improvement plans?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Yeah, we do.
How often
Legally in California, you have to.
how often do your team members
dang.
come back from PIPs? Or do they ever?
They don't. I don't know if you can recover from it depending on the expiration. So we do a PIP if you've been put on a PIP during a quarter, you reset at no PIPs next quarter.
Okay.
But you don't forget that this person already had.
I know. That's the thing is
So-
you can't
so-
make somebody,
so-
you
so
can't
legally-
unring a bell.
No, you can't. Legally, you got to give them a PIP
Okay.
in case they come back for compensation.
I have seen people come back from PIPs, and the reason is because they get clarity. So I think if you ever have an employee, a team member you put on a PIP, performance improvement plan, I guess, for anybody who doesn't know what a PIP is, if you ever have a team member you put on a PIP and they come back from it, that was actually on you, not on them. You didn't give them clear expectations before, and then the PIP required you to give them clear expectations. And then once they had a list of like,
Oh, this is what I have to do.
this is what you expect of me.
Yeah.
Great. Like now I can just do it all the time. And then they come back to you. Like I had somebody who like, and this was at a bigger company that I was working with that they give PIPs, and like, not only did he do everything, he told me every day. He sent me a message every day. Okay, I did this. And I'm like, okay, like clearly you just didn't realize what the expectations were.
Yeah.
And that's on me actually. So like I should kind of be giving myself the PIP here, right? Like I have to get better at managing you.
Agreed.
Problem employees, anything else to say? I think if they have the label of problem,
Already cooked.
they're already cooked.
Yeah.
You either got to change how you feel. That's hard to do though.
Just send them this episode.
Yep. Yeah.
Good way to fire somebody.
Hey man,
I just got a link in my email.
I got a link in my email. Check out this pod. Check out like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't know
go
how
to
far.
minute 38.
Yeah, we're 20. We're at 20. Yeah. Am I micromanaging my team? I hired a marketing manager and I'm feeling disconnected from the marketing now. I used to lead it.
Mm.
How do we help me to remain up to speed and share my ideas while allowing my marketing lead to do his job? Well, what you want to do
control
is
issue.
hourly profit update, hourly financial update.
Are you
Actually-
micromanaging enough?
Access to info. That's the
Yeah.
issue. They do not have the correct.
I want to hear Bart's answer first.
Oh, yeah, go.
Yeah, control issue is an interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, a little bit, because same thing that we talked about earlier with like if you're an owner and expect somebody to
Mhm.
have the same passion as you, it's like you also have to, if you're going to hire to solve that gap, then you have to trust them to do their
Yeah.
job. But if you're going to look over their shoulder while they're doing their job,
Do you trust? Are you doing that because you don't trust them?
You don't trust them to execute how you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem is like this person sounds a little bit like they did the marketing for a long time.
Yep.
This is what like position I'm in.
Yeah.
They did the marketing for a long time and then they're like finally got to a point they need to hire that person, but they're having like attachment issues to the marketing.
Mhm.
So they don't trust them to like carry on their torch or however they did it or the new way they might be bringing to it.
They all. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
I don't have anything on that one.
They also might feel they're losing their own identity a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if your core competency was marketing and you kind of like brought this brand to the dance to the point where you can like, hire
Step
somebody for
away.
it. Then you're like, what's my usefulness now?
Yeah.
A lot of founders feels that when Nick stepped away from fulfilling at the agency, he was like, there
Oh,
was some
yeah.
identity issues a little bit, and you're like, well, I'm the Facebook ads guy. And now I'm like, not really doing any Facebook ads.
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't even know if people know you're the
Yeah.
Facebook ads guy, dude.
You got to remind them again.
I can say
Yeah,
I
no.
feel for this guy though. Like
Mhm.
I can't imagine myself
Not doing.
stepping away from the marketing, but I think
So you would hire a junior and you would teach them,
yeah,
or you would hire a
to,
junior
like,
to help you.
yeah.
So he hired a
But
lieutenant.
I can see the identity thing being like, fuck,
What am
just
I
sitting
supposed to-
around now,
Yeah.
not doing that anymore. That's
Well,
kind of weird.
I think you got to get
he
over
hired a lieutenant though.
this.
yeah.
I've hired enough lieutenants and I've like grown out of enough roles. And I've also done drive-bys of needing to have
Yeah,
information
flyovers. Yeah.
for information. And so like I know what he's going through. And it's almost always two things. One, the correct type of access to the information that you need to feel comfortable when things are being actioned on.
Mhm.
And 2, involvement on setting the goals of what needs to be actioned on.
Can you give some tactical, actionable, like
Yeah.
what is that information and what is the reporting cadence and that kind of thing?
We're going through this right now as Aaron was the reason why we scaled everything at the beginning. Before Brandon was there, before the rest of the paid media team was there. And it was like his brain, his creative strategy direction, his offer, his landing page, his updates to the ads. Like it was all him with people executing specifically what he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to move on to more important things.
Yeah.
And so the literal creative to ads to email to offer was all his brain. Well, the more that he can't do that because we're just at a size where he should not be involved in these things with the more important things left. Now it's like department full updates, presentation to him before things go live, or if involvement before, and if he can't get a hold of us, we need to go live by a certain time. You had a chance to view it. That's on you in your process. You didn't get there.
Yeah.
So you get to see what's happening and we get to present the logic and understanding to you. Because as long as someone has thought and logic behind what they're doing, we don't have dumb people.
Yeah.
But at least bring us along and give us a chance to object. If not, forever hold your peace. That's kind of the style we take. So information before things are going to go live, expectations of when feedback needs to be given by, go live, and updates of what happens going live, postmortem when it's done.
I think that way Aaron or whoever this person is like, they still feel the involvement. They still feel like they have a
chance
grasp on everything. And you're just, it is a little bit like a lot of info for that one person to give to the other person.
You can bog a good thought worker down in like, oh, you got to do the work and then you got to write down all the work you're doing, which is, it can be a lot. Like that balance is tough.
You just don't want that person to feel like I have to ask dad every time, you know, like,
no, you want them to be free.
Yeah. And I spend half my time writing down
like here I go.
stuff.
I have an idea, but let me seek permission. Like you don't want too much of that.
It does suck. You can see some people's inspiration kind of go like,
yep.
Oh man, I got to wait till this gets approved. And what if it doesn't get approved? Oh, then I can't really do it. Why did I spend all that time and effort onto it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And so the only way out of that is actually going from you, the person leaving that role. I trust you, but I want to verify it at these key points, and you got to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the person leaving that role, my message to them is understand that like you should be clear that you're like, oh, I don't know how to do this thing that I'm doing now. And you, other person, lieutenant that I've hired, you're going to feel that. That's not on you. It's on me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to like, what is the information I need on what cadence? We're going to have to figure that out together.
Yeah.
In order for me to feel
together.
informed. We're going to have to figure that out together. What is what's that system look like? We're going to have to figure that out together. And that's on me. It's not on you. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so if you end up spending too much time reporting to me, you're spending half your time reporting to me and only half your time doing the work.
Tell me.
I got to know so that I can figure out, okay, what does he tell me that I don't need? Or what does she tell me that I don't need or whatever?
That's good.
So that's my message to this person. My message to the people who are the lieutenant is you're going to spend a lot of time talking about the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
And, but the best thing you can do is like, one big thing is you should create a way for them to like put their ideas into it still. So part of it is access to information and them like knowing but then another part of it is like, this happens at Royal, going through this at Royal, where he's like, he has an ad idea. You know, it's like, he's not part of that process anymore. And so what do we do is like, okay, we made a creative brainstorm once a month where the media buyer / creative strategist, myself and him get on a call and we come with some ideas that we've saved, like all of our ideas that we've saved on Instagram and on Foreplay and stuff. And we share those and we say, oh, okay, is that baked enough for X text? You could hit on it. No. Okay. Put it over here where we can come back to it later. And then, oh, here's some stuff we can execute on. Who of our creative teams, like we have a couple different agencies and stuff, who could do that one? Oh, they could do that one. Let's have them do that and stuff. And so like, that's a place, an outlet for him to go and say, here are all my ideas in that category. And he has a lot of ideas in that category. And then he has a bunch of other ideas too. And for that, I just created a parking lot where I say like, yeah, just give them to me. And if there are things we got to come back to, we're at least once a quarter, we're going to go through all of them. Right. And like, because we can't get sidetracked with every single idea.
Correct.
And a lot of those ideas are only partially baked and we're going to have to talk about them. So we gotta like.
But it's still important to hear them so that people feel heard, especially the person leaving the thing they were doing.
So the framework I gave him, and I think this is a good framework, is this a directive? Is this a direct question that you need an answer? You need me to go run down an answer to, or is this a discussion? right? And a lot of ideas fall in the discussion category. And so we say, oh, if it's a discussion thing and it's not urgent, then we're going to parking lot it.
Cool.
If it's a directive or direct question. And then the other thing that I did that I thought was very helpful as a lieutenant is I just like literally put all of my tasks into a Monday, it could be an Asana, whatever your thing is. And I ordered them in order of like priority. And so that at any given time you can say, like, he's like, hey, can you do a projection with like, of like new product sales in Q1 or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, you asked me for that last week. And he goes, well, why don't I have it? And I go, here's my Monday board. You can see where it is on the priorities list. Let me know if you want me to move it up. You know, like just very simple. You can see. And then he goes and looks at, oh, yep, no, those 4 things are ahead of that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
nice.
those are, I think, some tactics, but the spirit of it is you guys are going to have to figure out the system together.
Yeah. It's going to work differently.
I would say just be optimistic in
Communicate with each other, be patient with each other.
Yeah, but be optimistic in letting go makes it so that person ends up being better than you
Yeah.
at
Hopefully.
the task. Like
You'd want them to be.
I don't know,
yeah.
like not to reference Kanye too much, but he was always like, I just bring in people that are way better than me at this stuff. And so like I can see where I hire like a CMO and step away from marketing, and then I'm like hopeful that they'll like beat me in what I was doing for the company.
Yeah.
And so like keep a little bit of that optimism too, that like your control and over the shoulder watching might be minimizing their potential.
And so the end result of this is that I've seen a couple times is like y'all can end up being like a Kobe and Shaq duo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's for a second, I feel like that's what we're at. Like you were having a hard time stepping away from fulfillment, structured. I was, and we figure out the system. There's some like resistance as long as we communicate and we both trust each other. It works out. And then over time, it's like, oh, then it really hums.
Yeah.
And then, you know, whatever happens over time. So I think that's what can happen at the other side of it. If you both are like, okay, we know it's rough and that's okay. And we just trust each other, you know?
I was working with like a retention advisor, and they noticed a pattern of like, I think your customers are down to read nightly emails because, you know, as dads of like younger kids, at least bedtime can fall anywhere between like 7 and 9, and you had your work day, you had dinner. There's really not a break in the day, truthfully, but the break does come when everybody's in bed. So I started a series called The Nightcap, and it was just like a little pun on caps and it being nighttime. And that's what
It's just dad stuff. What's the series?
Company update, what we've been up to, what's coming. We'd love to, you know, show appreciation for everybody that's helped get Dad Game to the point that it is. And it's just a nightcap. It's not like nightcap, buy this hat. It's more like nightcap, how you doing, man? Like, this is what's been going on over here. Hope you've been great. Thank you again for the support. We do have these hats on the site if you want them, but just want to say what's up. Like that's the series.
You obviously use Attentive to do that. Shout out to Attentive sponsoring the show. If you haven't yet, go check out Attentive. All right, back to the show. Where are you guys? Ooh, I'm going to go. You go first on this one this time, Nick.
Okay.
Where are you guys saving on headcount by using AI? Give me some tactical stuff I can actually use. They put that in the thing.
That's a good question. We have email strategists using an email tool. We have customer support bot and customer reply AI tool. Like it's based on, I don't even know call it AI, but I call it like if and statements. That's like,
yeah, that's
it's
what they have a name for that. It's not agentic, but it's workflow. Yeah.
Okay. We have that. That's on the customer side. We have, those are really the only 2 areas. We were doing creative output with like templates, but I wouldn't call it AI. I just call that like mass automation.
Yeah.
That's really the only 3 areas.
What about you? Customer service for you, right?
A little bit. We still have agents and like real people responding to stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, your Facebook group. You don't have a community manager.
Are you talking about customer service just like, you know, the standard customer service, like somebody wants to return a hat or...
You use some AI solutions for customer service, yes?
Yeah, for sure. But we still have real people manning our customer service.
Yeah, that's not...
Do you hire do you hire them? Does Dad Gang employ them, or do you have like a customer service agency?
Agency.
Yeah. Okay. So the agency employs them.
Yeah.
And then you Meta has some AI like solutions for Facebook
community
groups.
management.
Yeah, like you don't have a community manager, even though your Facebook group is such a big source of like product feedback and revenue and everything like that for you.
Yeah.
Partially because you have the like.
Yeah, we were just talking about like letting go of control. You can turn on like a few different like AI models within your private Facebook group
Mhm.
that'll like auto approve stuff. It can even like comment back to stuff. It'll suggest topics for the group.
Pretty
I
cool.
use that one every once in a while. It's just like I think it's still learning the brand. Like
Yeah.
it'll ask, you know, what's your favorite lawnmower and shit. It's like
Yeah.
I'm
That
not,
might be appropriate, actually. That might be
Yeah,
a
dude.
good dad
Some
question.
guys would respond. For
yeah,
sure.
we get in like a Ryobi fight with people, but I think yeah, there's tools on Meta, and now even like on responding to ad comments, like Meta has its own thing. You can plug in keywords that'll respond to, say somebody says like love brand. You can
Yeah.
respond like, thank you so much, we appreciate you. Here's a link to our Facebook page, different things. So
Yeah.
I mean, we
There's
don't
no, the only thing that, where else would you put AI?
I think
copywriting.
copywriting maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, look, we use ChatGPT all the time, but it's like, is it saving on head? Here's my clarified thought on this. I think we're in the era of AI right now where it might be saving us on headcount, but it's hard to say exactly how, if it is.
I don't even think it is saving us on headcount. I mean, unless you're hiring a junior to support another senior and they're just using a tool, which I don't really have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our media
I don't
buyer,
have heads,
buyer
so-
can do a
Yeah.
lot without like a junior media buyer, probably because some of.
But you so
Yeah.
you believe like your team, because you're so lean, you would have a shit ton of AI tools to do things.
Yeah. Not really.
No.
Like, I think that what we talked about in the car ride is like, I think it's important that you have an outreach, a seed, like an influencer seeder.
okay, I got one.
That
Yeah.
that is like where you can save real
Yeah.
headcount. Is like, what is the trigger to scrape
I'll put
emails, outreach, get the information, send it. That is like an incredible
I'll put
automation.
on game 2 a tool that I
Yeah.
think everybody kind of uses for TikTok Shop, but it's called Yuka. I think there are some competitors to it as
Yeah,
well.
that's real. That's just real.
And yeah, I basically just load it up and say, hey, anybody who has promoted Breeze and has done more than $1,000 in GMV, I want to reach out to them and ask them if they'll promote Royo.
Sick.
Here's the message. Here's the offer for like the commission rate and stuff like that. And then let's auto approve those. And it just starts the outreach. That's a great tool.
That's a great tool.
Yeah, and that used to be a human who had to do that. So there's other outreach tools I think as well that aren't just for TikTok Shop, but that's a really good one for TikTok
Creative
Shop.
too. Like I used to like gather a bunch of content and then send it to a buddy who's an editor and like just tell him like, hey, make a dope video out of all these clips of things we've done recently, like vlog style.
Yeah.
But now I just go into CapCut and I select 30 videos and it gives me 30 different variations
Wild.
through
Really?
That
their
is wild.
AI editor. And it's like,
I've never tried that with
Is it
CapCut.
actually pretty good?
my
Is it dope?
goodness.
No way.
Yeah.
Ooh. Could I take the long form episodes of the podcast, go to CapCut, feed it in there and say, hey, make me an intro, give me 30 of them, and it just cuts up 30 intros and maybe one of them's
Maybe
good?
maybe on Cap. I haven't done it with like super long form stuff.
Okay.
I've just done it with maybe like at most like a 3-minute video. But what I use it for is like, say we went on a brand trip and then like shot some hats, some behind the scenes stuff, some in studio stuff. You know, my camera roll is just filled with all
So
of
you
that.
just upload it.
So I'll just select 30 videos, go to AI editor, and then in like
And
2 minutes, it gives me 20 different variations of that video with music and transitions.
Oh,
and
that's
It's like
amazing.
kind of doing what
That's
Apple
cool.
Memories does or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
with more
in
control
a
and
way
design.
better way
In a
with
way better.
like a video you're proud to post.
Okay.
Not just like
That's a great win. That's a social media manager and editor.
oh yeah, I like
I
consult.
mean, it's doing it through volume for sure. Like a bunch of them aren't
Yeah.
good, but then one is out of the 30.
no, I like
Yeah.
consult a guy that just spun up, ironically, a hat brand too that I'm like happy to help him with.
Mhm.
And he's like, man, I don't have any time to like make content. And I'm like, go outside and like live your life a little bit in your product, have some friends wear it, take video. And he's like, the hell are you talking about? I'm like, just go do it. Go get some clips
And come back.
and then send them to me. I
Mhm.
just told him, send them to me. And I made him like 3 videos in CapCut. And I'm like, here's
Buddy,
how
you're
you
doing consulting wrong. Okay.
No, I know, I did it
You're
for
like,
free.
send them to me. I'll do it.
No, because I want to show I'm
You
like
show him how to do
I'm
it.
passionate about showing people how
They can do it
simple
without.
it can be.
Yeah.
Because in that guy's head, he's like,
I have
I gotta put together a photo shoot. I gotta get an editor.
True,
and I'm
true.
like, no, you do not. Especially in the beginning, people appreciate like the super raw
Yeah.
stuff. But and then like Riverside or the things we've like talked about using, it's like
Yeah.
this
Well, we
point
talked
you can
about
just
that off
dump
air.
clips and have fully edited videos
Uh huh.
within 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
That is wild to me.
if you do any long form, and I suppose I was thinking in terms of brands, but if you do any kind of like long form video, Riverside, Opus Clip will create a lot of clips. So far, I don't think they're that good, but it's like what it will do is it'll shorten your workflow because if I feed a 2-hour video into Opus Clip, it will clip up 60 videos for me. And
Yeah.
like not a single one of them is one that I would post because it just doesn't look like it
Wow.
didn't, it wasn't,
They're expensive too.
but it'll key me into parts. It'll be like, oh yeah, that was a good part. So then it'll give me like an 80% done one and it makes my edit faster.
Oh, have you guys seen
Okay.
Yeah.
The
have you
discovery
guys
of
seen,
quality.
Yeah.
Captions? Have you played with that app?
No.
So perfect for like this kind of stuff, and then like founder ads,
Talking head. Okay.
talking head ads. So it can be as bland as possible, like white wall room, and just record you whatever you want to say. Like for me, I've made them. I'm like, hey, this is Bart with Dad Gang. We started our brand 3 years ago, sold over X amount of hats. We want to change fatherhood and like the perception of fatherhood across social media. Make these awesome hats. We've worked with XYZ. What was that? Like 20 seconds of me talking. And then I put that into captions. And captions makes like the who are we just talking about? That was like the employee that ended Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
It'll make like Stephen Bartlett-esque edits for you
Oh man.
with captions, and it'll like take its AI and throw in, like I'll talk about like we didn't want to be the lawn mowing dads. It randomly plops in a lawnmower into
wow.
the video.
Yeah.
And it's some of
The overlays and text
Yeah.
overlays and stuff.
they're
Yeah.
two
The
of
B-roll.
like my
It does
best
the B-roll.
performers in the account right now, and like there's 20 to 30 different like styles of those videos that you can make with it. And then once again,
Great tool.
that would
does the
take
B-roll.
so many resources 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Arc ads is another one that I've used too. We're just putting everybody on game to just a bunch of tools. Arc ads does AI talking head videos and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And so you could put a script into an arc ads video, get a pretty solid AI talking head video that people have a hard time telling is AI talking head, take that over to captions and then have an AI like talking head plus B-roll type of video.
Yeah. Sometimes you can go, you do need to go like multi-tool. So you can go Riverside, get a bunch of clips for your podcast,
And then
go to captions, and it'll just make it perfect.
So you
for
could go script. So you could go Chat GPT script to arc ads to captions if you wanted to go full AI with it. But I do think the Chat GPT scripts aren't there yet. They're like not great. So I would
go 2 platform max.
Yeah,
I
I'd write the script or let Chat GPT put the skeleton down and you fill in the meat. And then arc ads to captions. At my brand that I just sold, I sold back to my co-founder or my co-owners. So I'll just say what it is now because I didn't want to for a long time. Tactical is a tactical brand. One of our best performing ads in the account for a very long time was an arc ads talking head video, and it was just no text over. We got an older audience because it's tactical, so we can't give them too much to look at, right? But like it's just a guy talking to camera, and so arc ads videos can perform well. I've seen it.
You can even before that, you can go like a Poppy AI to put in a lot of like customer reviews or text or something that's valuable for people. It'll give you the learnings and the style and education that spits out the script, and you guys can go all the way through.
Have you guys
from, like,
seen
the user
Grok
side.
image to video?
No.
Image to I've seen outlandish examples, but nothing of like real use.
Oh, okay. So I'm taking like our product photos, the like say frontwards facing hat, and this is a great example. Like I did it with our hat that had flames on it, and I just put the photo into Grok, and I said, make the hat catch on fire, and then come back to regular form. So like on desktop, if you hover over our fire hat, it actually catches on fire and comes back.
Oh wow.
But that was just like a image to video prompt within Grok. It's fairly new. It's like on Super
I haven't
Grok
seen
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, you're on Super Grok.
But you can take like just for personal stuff. Like I'll take a cute picture of my kids and be like, have a unicorn run through and pick them up and take them for a ride.
Super cool.
And it's
Yeah.
like 1 minute, and it just makes these. So you could do
There's-
this for your brand.
If
That's
anybody
fun.
wanted to go look at this brand, Wolfpack, WOLFPAK.
It's like the backpack brand.
Yeah, backpack brand. They're great.
Workout backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You got one?
they do a lot of
I've
AI
seen 'em.
image
Not
to
yet.
video, and it's pretty good. So like
Yeah.
they had a Green Lantern one that like they just took pictures and then they had it like disappear into like a green
Yeah.
flash. They had a like a Panther one, not a Black Panther one, but like a like a panther themed backpack
Yeah.
that they had like a panther come walk around the backpack.
Yeah,
Dude,
sick.
I'm deep into the like,
Yeah.
what am I doing in my downtime is like just fucking with these AI creative platforms.
That's cool. That'll get there.
Like
though.
just play around in there and then you'll eventually land on something that creates content that you can use across paid or email or whatever.
So the question was, how are you using AI to reduce headcount? And I suppose the answer is like another flow that we use is we have a survey that's in our email flows for every type of customer. So somebody who is a prospect who hasn't bought, somebody who's bought once but hasn't repurchased, somebody who's like a multi, and we ask them a different set of questions, and it's just all type form. So that's all a manual setup. But we have like a workflow that pulls it, reads the insights, and then tells us like the percentage answers, and then tells us like the change from last month. So it's like, oh, you know, your biggest our biggest objection is price to people who are prospects who haven't purchased yet. And so, okay, 43% of the answers were price on those people. Did that change since last month? And I want to know that because I want to know, I did a whole bunch of price busting ads. Like I went price objection heavy with my advertising message. So did I like, was that effective? Did it go from 55 down to 43? We do have a sort of workflow that helps with that, but that's just a thing we wouldn't have done before. So it's not reducing headcount. We just wouldn't have done it before. So if you want to think of it like we would have hired somebody to do that, then I suppose it's reducing headcount. But I think right now we're in the phase where it's helping fewer people do more things and try out more tactics and have more tools in their bag to accomplish their goals.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, maybe isn't reducing headcount, or it's hard to say if it is.
It'd be a great question for Brian Cano.
Yeah.
Him at True Class, he's like
pretty
all
heavy
about
on it. Yeah.
on empowering individual employees to think product first versus more people.
I do think that a lot of people in business, including myself, have AI guilt, meaning I fear I'm not using it enough.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I fear I'm not savvy enough on it. Do you feel that? Do you guys feel that or no?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
Oh,
think
okay,
that,
well,
I think that's
F
why
off then. Yeah.
No,
He feels
that's why
I'll explain.
I explore just so many, particularly around creative. But like, I just like if you get fed all these apps now that are like an ad around the new AI app for creative, and like I just download all of them and just play, and then delete it if it sucks. But like, I don't know. I think I'm always like exploring what new like we worked with, or you recommended like an ad generation software, and it's like, give me the login. I like want to try this thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think if you're always like exploring, you should just be in the depths of AI now.
Yeah, I mean, not
Like
that
don't
I don't
miss the train, you know.
I suppose I think it's not like I don't explore, but it's like I explore with all the free time I have, right? Like
Yeah.
all that little bit of free time I have. And I think I'm more like, oh, am I not applying this enough to the business? Am I not, you know, like, should I be able, like, I like this question because he's like, where are you reducing headcount because of AI? And I'm like, nowhere that I know of. Like, should I be? Like, do you know what I mean? I feel this like, you hear this stuff publicly, like, oh, people like are reducing headcount because of AI, and I'm like, how?
It's
like,
a lot of headline scare too.
I know. Well, and at the same time, I'm also like, well, that's also like, I don't love that AI is actually replacing jobs, but that is what it is. So if I'm going to be like a good operator, then I should probably be doing it too, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say AI guilt, is that I'm like, I never think I always feel like I'm not doing enough there, but that might also just be how I am.
You always want to do more, per your previous point.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The last note I'll have is like, I don't think we're very in it. And there's a lot of people that are not in it as deep as we are on a very curiosity level. Our employees are not going to crack AI tools because they're going to think that's going to replace their job. That's just a real thing.
They're not motivated to, yeah.
There's no incentive for someone to be like, I'm going to use this extra tool to do my job because I want to do more work and not get paid for it.
Do you think there'll be roles that are like head of AI implementation?
There already is. They're already like,
and they're responsible for firing people.
They're responsible for that, or just finding more tools.
McKinsey, like one of the largest growing line of work for Fortune 500 consulting, Fortune 100 consulting, is AI-ifying artificial intelligence inclusion of their company and projection of saved overhead costs.
So you see that person show up at your job.
Yeah, you have no idea. But a lot of this is like, America has been automated to like, there's very human elements, right? Like we have AI guilt in one way of not using enough. There's also AI adoption guilt of like, I don't want to do this because what if I have to fire people that I've been with for so long?
Do you have any ways that you incentivize AI use in your company?
Now I do, because of I told you guys a little bit on the ride home. Like I'm purposely wanting this other project to be built with AI and have 1 to 3 people.
You're trying to build a whole brand with AI.
Highly incentivized to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather overpay like 4 or 5 people and then just do incredible work across the board, rather than be like, everyone's going to get paid pretty well, but like you could probably make more money elsewhere.
Yeah. It's just like you could make just a crazy amount of money.
But you can't do that. You can't do that.
You can keep this whole company at 3 or 4 people or 5 people or something like that.
Yeah, but you can't do that with you already super thick.
Yeah,
you can't be like, I'm going to downsize everything, and then you guys use tools. You're like,
yeah,
that I think that's aggressive. That's hard.
Yeah, or so like, you know, I don't know, a rule of thumb some people use. I don't love this rule of thumb. I like more of a percentage of revenue, but one head for every 100,000 in revenue is sometimes what I hear people say.
Yeah, we've heard that.
And so for every 100,000 per month in revenue. Sorry, so like if you make 2 million a month, you can have 20
people.
Heads. 20 heads. Yeah. 20 people. And so I've heard that before. And I think it's like what you're trying to do is like, how do I make that 1 per 500,000 in revenue or something like that? Or
at the beginning.
Yeah.
This is very clear at the start. This is not a mid or end.
Yeah.
goal.
No, if you get to 9 figures, it's not going to look like that probably, but
that'd be wild. I think it'll happen. Someone swears.
Somebody thinks that there's going to be a $1 billion 1-person company. That's crazy.
It might have been my first million. Those guys are going like, somebody will build the first $1 billion company
with just
and 0 employees.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think.
It's gonna be dad gang.
Dude, you'll get to a point where you're gonna be like, do I want a person or do I want a process? And like that'll be really like him answering this question next year will be really crazy. I think.
Yeah. We'll see the progression of dad gang. All right, that was a good one. Good note to end on. If you watched this episode and you liked it, and you've seen another episode and you also like that one, then you should subscribe. But if this is the first one you've seen and you liked it, then hold off. Wait till you've seen another one.
Or just subscribe now.
I feel like now
that's great, dude. It
started as a joke, but now I'm like actually saying it pretty seriously, and now it's not as fun anymore.
No,
or just subscribe now.